Hello. I want to do a video about Jimi Hendrix. Michael Bloomfield, who died allegedly of a heroin overdose, he was featured on the album that had Like a Rolling Stone. I think it's Highway 61 Revisited. He was the one who played Desolation Row with all the fills, with the beautiful acoustical work that it was on that song where it goes dun 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 dun, dun Desolation Row, dun 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 dun, dun Desolation Row, and it had Like a Rolling Stone with that crazy organ. That was Al Cooper in there doing the fills, and that was an accident. Mr. Cooper was a guitar player, and he said, "I want to play the organ." He wanted to be on the song, and he got on, and he was waiting for the fill, to waiting for the notes, and he hit it a little late. And the producer wanted to recut it, and Bob Dylan goes, "No man, no man, it's good, it's good. Keep it, man, it's good, cool, cool." So it was an accident. Um, but I'm digressing in a way because Michael Bloomfield was a hell of a player. And when he heard Jimi Hendrix play, he said he quit for a month when he saw him because he thought, "I'll never, ever, 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 ever be able to play like that, ever." Jimi Hendrix was a force, a powerful force, not just a guitar player. He was a force. And I heard a story told to me by a guy named Perry Amberson in Alabama, Anniston, Alabama, and he was just a smart kid, chubby guy, and he was kind of strange. You know, if you sat in his chair, he would beat you up. He got in a fight with some tough guy in the thing, and I think he beat him up. He never played football. He never did nothing. He was just a tough, strong, raw-boned kid, kind of weird, and he loved music. He didn't like none of these long, music. He liked this down, 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 down. He was ahead of his time. But I don't like that down, down, down stuff. I like the guitar solo. I think the guitar solo is the greatest form of music there is. I sing gospel music. I sang gospel music. I think it's great, but it's not a guitar solo. Guitar solos are very, very sacred to me. Uh, Carlos Santana is a sacred person. I've listened to him the most. But he's not the greatest guitar player ever. That would be Jimi Hendrix. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. First, because of what the other musicians who play the guitar say about him. Secondly, is because he was a important person in history. When he got up, he had served in the army. He was a little older than most people at the time. He was a little more mature. He had served in the army, and I don't know whether he was a protester or not. He was just ambivalent to the whole thing. Um, I don't know. He did machine gun. Said different things. He was definitely known as an anti-war person, but I don't know if he was anti-war his whole life, and I don't know exactly what his position was. I've never read it. I hope somebody straightens me out on it. Um, his father and mother he grew up in Seattle, I think fairly in a white neighborhood. I don't know. I don't know where he was. There's not a whole lot of black people in Seattle, so I assume he came from that kind of environment. He was a middle class kid, from what I understand, and I don't know when he started to play the guitar. I don't know his history, but he admitted on the Dick Cavett show that he wasn't the greatest guitar player, and that's in line with what guitar players say. Um, my understanding is that when Duane Allman and um, Eric Clapton played Layla, they both were very deferential to each other. They were both humbled by each other. So that's how guitar players are. But number one, Mr. Hendrix was rated number one on the Rolling Stones guitar players best of all times list. That's good enough for me. He's the best. I don't know how to play the guitar. I just know that when he plays Machine Gun, he can make it sound like a machine gun. Um, when he did the Star Spangled Banner, It was still being featured. Hulk Hogan was using it to introduce himself in year 2000, 35 years after it was out because it had so much power. Um, I think a lot of people use drugs. I think a lot of maybe the war stopped, partly maybe 5% because of his music, because he was just that powerful. He changed politics. He eclipsed music. His music was so powerful that he eclipsed it. He was bigger than the medium. He wasn't just known as a guitar player. He was important in human history. Much like uh, Bruce Springsteen was co-opted by some conservative politicians, and they got mad at him because his song "Born in the USA" had so much power. Music has power to change things. You don't just have to talk. Music is important. So what have I said? I said he's the best. Period. I discussed some issues in music, and I pay my tribute to Mr. Jimi Hendrix. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the music. Bye bye, sir.